Is this you? Tired of paying exorbitant amounts for parking? And frustrated with fighting traffic in the city? Lucky for you, you can now park for free and take the Red Line instead. But you've never taken the Red Line before, so how does it all work? It's easier than you think. You just need to know the answer to these two questions. When is your train leaving the station? And in which direction is your train traveling in? To know when your train leaves the station, you need to choose a station to depart from. From west to east, we recommend parking for free at Brook Park, Puritas, West Park, Triscuit, Madison West 117th, West Boulevard West 98th Cudell, East 55th, or Stokes Windermere Red Line Rapid stations. These Red Line stations are accessible from nearly all interstate highways in and around Cleveland. We recommend you check the transit app or the RTA website when choosing a station to make sure it is not closed or out of service. Today, we're coming in from an eastern suburb on I-90, so we will choose Stokes Windermere Station. To determine when to get to the station, let's take a look at the schedule. You can find schedules on the RTA website or on the transit app. The direction the train is traveling in is denoted by the final destination, either eastbound to Stokes Windermere or westbound to the airport. Since we are starting at Stokes Windermere and going to Tower City today, we will need to catch the westbound train headed towards the airport. Today's meetup at Tower City starts at 3 p.m., so when would we need to leave Stokes Windermere? Let's take a look at the westbound schedule and work backwards. There's a westbound train headed towards the airport that arrives at Tower City at 2:57 p.m. Each row represents a trip, so this train leaves Stokes Windermere at 2:36 p.m. However, I usually get to the station at least 5 minutes early just to be safe. Here's a quick tip. If you can't find the station you're departing from or arriving at on the schedule, don't panic. Since there are more stations than can fit on a schedule, only certain stations are chosen to be displayed on the schedule. These stations are called time points. Simply estimate when the train arrives at your station by looking at when the train arrives at time point stations immediately before and after your station. After arriving and parking at the station, head towards the vending machines to purchase an all-day pass. As of March 2025, all-day passes are $5. These machines accept cash and credit or debit cards. Alternatively, you can purchase an all-day pass on your phone using the transit app. Once you have your pass, follow the signs toward the platform. All Red Line stations are ADA accessible, so if there are any stairs, you may choose to use the elevator instead. After arriving at the platform, identify which side your train will be arriving on. We are catching a westbound train headed towards the airport, so the train should be arriving on this side. Note that if you are departing from a station at the end of the line, such as Stokes Windermere or the airport, the train may be on either side of the platform. Simply board whichever train has its doors open. When the train arrives, check the front of the train to confirm the direction in which it is traveling. Since our train is a westbound train to the airport, the front placard should say Airport. Simply board the train and find a place to sit. If your suit takes up a lot of space, we recommend standing in the bike or wheelchair area near the front and back of each train car. As the train approaches your destination, keep track of the station announcements and get ready to leave the train. After getting off the train at Tower City, head towards the fare gates. If you're in a full suit and you can't fit through the fare gates, use the wheelchair lane. At the fare gate, if you purchased a ticket on the transit app on your phone, simply scan the QR code. If you have a paper pass, you can swipe it. Congrats, you've made it to Tower City!
Yay!
Headed back home? You'll never have to wait more than 15 minutes for a train between 4 a.m. and midnight, all 7 days of the week, including holidays. So, if you're in no rush, there's no need to check a schedule. Just show up at the station and wait for a train. For us, we're headed back to Stokes Windermere, so we're catching an eastbound train headed to Stokes Windermere. If you're riding back from Tower City, make sure to have your day pass ready to go through the fare gates. Note that during periods of construction, westbound trains may arrive and depart from Track 7 instead of the usual platforms in the RTA lobby. From the RTA lobby, just take the long escalators up to the second floor. The entrance to Track 7 will be on your left. Board the train, note when your station is next, and get off at your station. Some have asked if the Red Line is dangerous, or if the stations are safe to park at. The truth is that, like flying, riding public transit is safer than the drive to the station. Most people use the Red Line every day without incident. It's also very safe to park your car at most Red Line stations, since car break-ins are exceedingly rare. However, if this is your first time and you're still nervous, here are some common sense tips. After parking, don't leave anything of high value in the car in plain sight, and consider actually locking your car. When catching the train, you may decide to ride in the first car closer to the operator. If you want to know where to stand to board the first car usually stops across from the number 2 sign in the direction of travel. Again, the RTA is very safe and the vast majority of people use the Red Line every day without incident. So, as long as you practice basic common sense, you should have an uneventful and even enjoyable trip.